way to Chicago, all I heard was, these niggas are taking over. We were headed to Mississippi, my sister Ruth and I had a young child, about 5, 6 months old, and we were going down to Rosa, Mississippi for my parents to see their grandson. We had not been there for about maybe less than a week when Emmett Till was murdered, and things got so bad until my husband suggested that we leave earlier and stay in 2 weeks. We boarded the train in Memphis, and you could not ride in all of the coaches. You could only they had a section for the blacks and a section for the white. I had a young child, 6 months old. They didn't have any room in the coaches for the blacks because all blacks were just filled to the capacity. So that meant I would have had to stand up all the way from Memphis to Chicago. So I was not going to do that, and having a child, to hold a child. So I decided I was going to go into the other coaches where there was plenty of room. The black conductor said, "Oh no, you can't go in there, you're not supposed to go in there." So I told him, "Look, I have to sit down, I have a child here," which he already knew that, but he knew the rules and regulations. So, but at that time I didn't care because I was going to find a seat. So my sister and I and my son, young son, we went into one of the other white coaches. They had plenty of room there. Some of the people, one woman was sitting with her feet up on an extra seat. So when I came down the aisle, she saw me, but she didn't move her feet. She just sat there and looked at me, gave me that really ugly, nasty look. And so I kept on down the aisle, and everybody was looking at me and mumbling and going on. So this white guy gets up and told us to take his seat. Very nice guy. He said, "You can have my seat." So my sister and I sat there, and we sat there all the way from, I guess, right after we left Memphis to Chicago. While sitting there, although the trip was a trip, because we got all kinds of nasty remarks. There was a white guy, 2 white guys sitting behind us, and all the way to Chicago, all I heard was, "These niggas are taking over." You know, everywhere you looked, the niggas are taking over. He had his tall, looked like some kind of straw cowboy hat on, and that's all we heard. But I ignored him. I just acted like he wasn't there. This guy gave me a seat. We needed a seat, and so we sat there until we got to Chicago. But this was the kind of stuff that we heard all the way to Chicago. I think things like that happen to you. I was angry over what he was saying, but I think he was a fool because we didn't say anything to him. We just sat there. The other guy that gave us his seat was really the hero on that trip because he showed some of them on there that, hey, you know, I'm white, but I can get up and give this lady that's got a kid and this other lady a seat. And you all said, this woman's sitting there with her legs on another seat. And you would think, as woman to woman, she would have at least said, "Oh, I feel sorry for her. She was another woman with a baby." But no, she gave me the nasty looks and kept her feet up there and doing all kinds of things with her face and everything. But, you know, this guy was nice. He gave us a seat. And I think you do have people in this world that are caring people, but you got some of the worst ones out there that don't care about anybody but themselves.